What is up, everybody? So, I know it's kind of a short, impromptu live stream, but we are going to do one because we have a recap of the Yankees offseason so far and also what could happen and what they should do. I don't know if you guys saw the last live stream I did, but the Yankees had made one of the biggest moves in their history, probably, re-signing Aaron Judge. So, re-signing Aaron Judge to that massive deal, which in turn, he's making $40 million a year, and he got his money. He bet on himself at the beginning of the year, and it paid off. So, Aaron Judge did what he had to do to get paid. Also, they brought back Tommy Kahnle, and that was another big signing. Tommy Kahnle, I mean, it's not the sexiest move, but it is a big signing because it gives us that depth in the bullpen that we need. Tommy Kahnle came back on a 2-year, $11.5 million deal, which was great. It's affordable, and he's been in New York before. He's also been in that bullpen before. He's got the experience. Quick shout out to the chat. What is up, D? What is up? Salute, salute, salute. So, we have that going, and then we've got now there's being reports. We don't know if it's true or not, but I'll bring it up for you. But it's something that I just heard. It was that the Yankees are trying to do something, or apparently doing something big, or working on something big. I don't know if anyone has heard that yet, but that's something to keep in mind. Again, we don't know if it's just, blowing smoke up, Yankee fans' butts or whatnot. But that's something that was just put out. That's what. So my thinking is they're probably looking at Correa, even though they are also heavily linked to Rodon. My guess is if they do end up signing, or my thinking is if they end up signing Rodon and Correa, that still doesn't fix the outfield problem. That's what we need to fix. We need to fix the outfield problem. The problem is that we are right now down an outfielder, and we need that extra outfielder. So that's something that we need to really look at as well. So here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to sign Benny and Rodon and Correa. I think what they should do is, if they do end up signing Rodon and Correa, if that is the case, if that is the thing that they are working on, which we don't know if it's just all talk or if they're actually doing it. I think what they should do is, if that is true and they end up signing Rodon and Correa, is they should then try to package put a package together surrounding Torres, Herman, and Dominguez to try to get Brian Reynolds off of Pittsburgh. That way they've fulfilled the need that they need, which is that corner outfielder. They have also fulfilled the need of the rotation. They can always use more pitching because you can never have enough pitching. So that would be the other thing. I did see Jason's video. That's what we're touching on now, Aiden. Like I said, we don't know. Nothing's been confirmed. Do the Yankees have the money? Yeah, the Yankees have the money. The Yankees have the money. It's just a matter of if this is actually true or not. So we don't know yet. So my thing is, if it is true, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. You've already done that with Judge. Now it's time to bring in more pieces. Here's the thing. Judge, we need to surround Judge and show Judge that we're serious about trying to make a run at a championship. Because we didn't give him the $360 million for 9 years, which is $40 million average annual value, for nothing. We gave him that for the fact that we are trying to prove to him that we can win and that we can compete with Houston. Because right now there's still a gap between us and Houston. So let's be real on that. Right now the Yankees' main priority is getting that other corner outfielder, because the other day Masataka Yoshida signed with the Red Sox for 5 years and $90 million. So that was one of their targets, and that's what the Yankees have to now feel like, okay, now we have to go to plan B. So that's where we're at with all this. I don't know if Judge wants us to be the Astros 2.0. I don't know if that's the case, Aiden. I think it's more or less of us getting better so we can compete with them. I don't think it's a matter of being the Astros 2.0. That's what I heard too. I heard Benny is looking for at least 6 for 100, and Rodon is looking for 7 for 230. I don't think Rodon's getting 7. I can tell you that now. Benintendi might get 6. He might get 6, and he might get 6 from one of the teams in the West. I don't think the Yankees are going to go that high. Rodon is worth it. So, Aiden, Reynolds, I agree with Jason. Reynolds is got 3 years of control left, team control. So you have to remember that. 3 years of team control is better than what we're getting if we spend, all this money on a Benintendi. So Reynolds, I agree with Jason. And I've been agreeing with that for a while now. Reynolds would be the perfect fit for the Yankees. It gives us 3 controllable years left. And it's a move that needs to be made. We can't wait. We cannot wait and sit around and wait for teams to start picking these guys up. Because Nimmo, as we all heard yesterday, just got signed to an 8-year, $162 million deal. I'd rather have a 27-year-old Brian Reynolds, who's a switch hitter and can play a corner outfield piece. But that's me. Reynolds is definitely the solution in this case for us, for right now. Down the line, I don't know. They could, but I don't think that's who they're really interested in. I think they're more interested in Rodon. And getting back to D's question of is it worth it for both players? No. Do I think it's worth it to try to trade for a Reynolds and sign a Carlos Rodon? Yes. Rodon D is probably going to get 6 years or 5 with an option for a sixth. Do I think he's going to get 230? No. He'll get probably around the ballpark of where DeGrom got. He might get a little bit more. He might get a little bit less. But that's where I see it. I don't see Rodon making much more than what DeGrom got. And I think Bassett was great for the Mets, but I think there's teams that are more interested in him, like the Orioles and whatnot. But yeah. If the Yankees get Rodon, then they will just get Ben. I don't think that's how it's going to work, Aiden. I doubt that. I doubt that very seriously. I think that if the Yankees get Rodon, they're getting Reynolds. They're going to make that push to get Reynolds. Now, back to what was asked earlier in regards to this big thing that they're working on, which, again, we don't know if it's true or not, but Buster only put it out. So we can't verify if that information is true. So we can only speculate. But if it is, I can see them getting Rodon, Correa, and then Reynolds. But if it's true and they are interested, then they would have to figure out what to do with Volpe and, IKF and those guys and whatnot. But for the winter meetings are over. So the offseason, I think the Yankees might make a couple more moves. And depending if it's true or not, we'll see. But if it is, then I would say it'd probably be Rodon, Reynolds, and maybe one more piece. So that's what I would think. But if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please do so. It's helpful for the channel, and it's greatly appreciated. So smash that like button if you haven't done so already. The new rules, what new rules are you referring to, Aiden? Are you referring to the shift rules? Or are you referring to something else that we didn't hear about? That's what I've been hearing too, Jonathan, that they're putting that's what I've been hearing. They're putting all their focus on Rodon. The shift rules. Yeah, the shift rules does help. It does help because I think more of these lefties are going to start pulling it now, which, it is what it is, but whatever. The offseason trades, I think the Yankees will make one trade, and I think that's going to be for Reynolds. Correa over. I don't think he's going back to the Astros. I think that his Astros days are done. Yeah, I don't think Correa is going back to the Astros. I hate to say it for the Astros. I think if Correa, let me bring in a special guest before I get to that. I'd like to welcome Kev from BX Sports Jedi. Kev,
What's up?
how are you? Thank
I'm
you
doing
for
good, man. How you doing, Mikey? How's your Friday? Happy Friday to everyone watching along here with us.
Yep. If you guys haven't subscribed to BX Sports Jedi, please do so. You guys are missing out. He does watch alongs for the Yankees during baseball season, the Knicks during was Chef Dan A or Chef Dan
Chef Dan.
on yeah, Chef Dan on during basketball season. They just started doing some hockey stuff too. If you're into that, so please follow him. Please subscribe to his channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon because don't want you guys to miss out on anything that he puts out as well.
Thank you so much. I wanted to salute real quick D's channel and Aiden Davila and Backyard Baseball. Salute, guys.
So we had a question. Do you think Correa wants to play in New York? Because there's this thing now that Buster only put out. We don't know if it's true or not. It's just speculation. Does which was the Yankees are working on something big. Could it be Correa? And it had a picture of Correa. So could it be Correa? Could it be something else? I'm thinking that if it is true, they're going to try to pull off a double signing of Rodon and Correa and then try and trade for Reynolds. But again, this is all speculation, so we don't know if it's true or not. What are your thoughts?
I hate to be the burst the bubble, but I don't think it's neither none of those. I think personally, the big move they're talking about, I think is Sean Murphy from the catcher for the Athletics. I think they're looking for another catcher. I think that's where they're going. I still think Rendon might be is going to sign as a free agent. I do see Correa coming to New York, but not for the New York Yankees. I think it's the
Yes.
Mets. I think he's going to be a Met
Okay.
along with his buddy Lindor. I
Yep.
think they're going to play there. I think
I've heard that.
I think that's where that's going. Personally, I hate to sign. I would love. Listen, I would love Brian Reynolds. I would love Carlos Correa at short, and definitely Rendon. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be the one that says, "Oh, he doesn't want to."
Oh, no, of course not.
But we know how is spending. You know, he is wise spending. He's a little frugal, but he's willing to make the money. You know, you got to give him credit. He did go get. He really signed Judge. He said, "You want to stay here? I'm going to match it." Just like his dad. As much as we gave him criticism that he's not his father, but he did a dad move. Called him up.
Yes.
You want to be a Yankee? I'll match it. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
He
Let's
did
do it.
do that.
He did that. Now, if Rendon, I'm getting worried as the time passes and no announcement or no steam coming with Rendon because it looks like they're trying to push. His agent is trying to push Rendon and make over $200 million.
Yep.
And I don't think the Yankees are going to go $200 million for Carlos Rendon. So I'm a little worried. I'm
I don't
getting
think
worried.
Rodon's getting $230 million to begin with. I don't think that's even in the realm of possibility because he's looking for a seventh year as well. I don't even think that's a realistic realm of possibility. I think he's getting 5 to 6, a little over or a little under what DeGrom's got.
You know what? If the Yankees give that same contract to Rendon that DeGrom got from the Rangers, it's not a bad move, though.
No.
It's
I
not
think
a
that's
bad
where
move.
we're going, though. I think that's what it's going to come down to because I don't think any team is going to give a 30-year-old pitcher with a history of injuries, a 7-year deal. I don't think that's even realistic at all. I don't think they're going to give him $230 million. So I think that's not realistic at all. I mean, it's Scott Boras. He gets his clients paid. I mean, he's a Scott Boras client. This is how this is the nature of the beast with Scott Boras. He gets his guys paid. That's how he does it. I think, like I said, it's going to be roughly around what DeGrom got.
Now I'm glad you told me about Boris. We have to see who is his other client that he has that usually when he wants to give a little bit of discount, you have to sign another of his players. So he's a smart businessman. But I also saw in your chat Jack McCarty from the
Jack
Arizona.
McCarthy, I've heard about him too.
I don't know. That's going to cost a lot of prospects.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. Those are the type of those are the kind of moves that Cashman makes. He gets those controllable pitchers for X amount of years He will give up the prospects, but those are the Cashman specials. Good job
Yes.
on you and there on the chat there to put that, because he does do that. He loves to do that. We've seen it before, time and time again, with Sonny Gray. Of course, the list is long of all the pitchers he bought in here, team controllable, for those reasons, to see if they pan out in New York to and then try to sign them to a long term deal there.
Yeah.
Though, also we don't, another team that's kind of quiet, and I mentioned it earlier. I was saying a little earlier that the winter meetings past, all the free agency movements, we haven't had a lot of trade movement yet.
Nope.
And I don't know if it's going to be after the Christmas break or the new year, where the major league teams are going to start doing their wheeling and dealing, or in between that slow, what we call the slow period.
Yep.
Before holidays, all the move wheeling and dealing. They talked about it. When they met together at the winter meetings, they talked about proposals, and I guess they went back and now see with their analytics, with their scouting department, with their owners, and see and their war team. Everything now is collaboration.
Yeah.
Should we trade? Should we trade? Should we trade? And maybe that would Mikey. Maybe that's what they'll do.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out to the chat. What's going on? Hola, thank you for being
Hola,
with us.
perrito. What's up?
I've also the Jake McCarthy thing is a very interesting point, because this is not the first time I've heard this.
Okay.
This is not the first time I've heard his name put out as an idea. I know Pete Simonetti from NYY News TV put that out as an option. I've heard his name rummaged a few, not from like actual sources, but from people as an idea. But the thing with Jake McCarthy is, yes, he's a left-handed hitter, but who's going to cost you more, Jake McCarthy, who's 25, or Brian Reynolds, who's 27?
I think it'll be Reynolds because he's more established.
I mean, yes, McCarthy isn't a free agent until 2029, which is 6 years of control. That's his entire team control, from all of his RB year, from when he first got up to all through his RB years up to his free agent year. So I think he's going to cost a little bit more because of that.
Right, but he is a 274 career hitter. I mean,
That's
from the left
the other
side. He's from the left. He bats from the left side, which caters to Yankee Stadium. See, I so far I'm liking what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
You want to cater. You want to bring ball players to cater your stadium always, and especially now. Remember, now the shift is abolished. No more shift.
Yep.
The left-handed hitters are going to bring more. Their batting average are going to increase. You're going to start seeing some better batting average. Although now these days on analytics and teams, they say they don't value batting averages. They don't. That's a stat that we don't give a crap. Bull nonsense. I'm a diehard old timer. Call me a relic. What I would say it. I believe in batting average. If you're if you've got a high batting average and you get on base and you hit, you're a very useful player. I'd rather have that than a swing and a miss, no contact, nothing's going on. But to the point taken, he is young. He is left-handed. I don't know what Arizona wants to do here, because they got to start winning, and they're gonna want something. They're gonna want a king's ransom, even though the kid is uncontrollable, and he is a 274 hitter. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a good one, interesting. But
It
I don't
is.
know.
It's definitely interesting, because it now opens another door that they could go down if they end up not getting Reynolds. But I still do think Reynolds is higher on their list of priorities, just because, one, he's a switch hitter, so he caters to Yankee Stadium very nicely. He has the experience of a center fielder and a corner outfielder.
Right.
And the one thing that people don't think about from Reynolds, or that I've spoken to that don't think about from Reynolds, is that you're getting the finished product of a Jason Dominguez. Because you don't know how Jason Dominguez is going to turn out. He's just a prospect right now.
He's a prospect. Right.
So he is expendable. We can trade him, and he end up being a bust.
Absolutely.
So you don't know if that's going to be – you don't know if that's going to turn out good for the Yankees or bad for the Yankees, because he's just a prospect. Plus, there's also been reports of him being criticized on his hustle.
There's some red flags.
I think it was on 3 different occasions. So maybe it's time that we, give him to another team, let him get his playing time, and get the finished product of what he is projected to be.
It could be there, and especially now that we know Judge is going to be here now, of course, for the next 9 years. We know
Yes.
that he's not going anywhere. He's going to at least play 6 out of those 9, personally, maybe more in the outfield, no matter where, center,
Yep.
right, left. He's going to be an outfield. That position is taken.
Yes.
Harrison Bader for the next 3 years, like you say, or 2 years, whatever his contract is left to become free agent. If he pans or doesn't pan out, he's not going anywhere. So
No.
2 of the spots are taken right now. Are just in cement. Now the Yankees are trying to look for the left fielder here.
Yes.
Oh, and of course you always want to have 4 to 5 outfielders. We know that. Especially when now. My point is, I'm trying to give more credit to your thoughts. Dominguez is expendable.
Right.
He is expendable. If you could bring in and you're going to be training in a position of strength, Mikey. So now if you have strength in there, now you could try to go and be picky on what you want back in return.
Right.
Hey, you could throw Dominguez and try to get yourself a number 1 starter or a bona fide number 2 starter like a Patrick Burns or Woodruff from. I mentioned that before. I know we mentioned that before, but I'm just saying if Dominguez is highly talented that way, you could dangle and get something big when
Yeah.
and Brian Reynolds is another one. You could Brian Reynolds, Bernard as the reliever like you mentioned. Those are names that Dominguez could pull, starting with and an Austin Wells. Those are names that will help Pittsburgh because they're not ready. Let's face it, Pittsburgh is not ready to win now.
No.
That's why Brian Reynolds wants out. But you bring a kid who wants to develop like and has a lot of potential, like the way it's touted on Dominguez and Austin Wells, along with O'Neal Cruz. Now
Yep.
Pittsburgh got something cooking. You want to throw some pitchers, some of the Yankee pitching there as well.
Yep.
The single A development, they got something now for them to build for the future. While we need something now to plug in and help the New York Yankees currently at the timeline to currently.
Hold on. Let me just bring in another special guest. We got Chris the Flash coming on.
Hi, Chris.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
How's it going, bud?
Did I miss anything good?
So we were just kind of bouncing ideas and talking about, the current state and the current situation of the Yankees in the sense of what they have and what they don't have and what they need. And I don't know if you heard about this thing where Buster only put out that there's something big that they're working on. We can only speculate if that makes sense.
Yeah, everybody keep thinking it's Carlos Correa.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it is Carlos Correa, if they are working on something big. But Kev, you brought up a really good point, and I'm going to throw it over to Chris after this. But that left field spot's open. Getting a guy like Correa is great, but that doesn't fix your outfield problem. You need to get that other corner outfielder, or else you're going to be stuck with the Hicks all next season. And I know none of us want that. So that's something that's why you got to look at a guy like a Reynolds or a Jake McCarthy. Chris, what you think?
Yeah, you're right. The Carlos Correa don't fix our left field situation. Be honest with you, I think it's got to be a trade. I mean, especially if you're going to spend the money on Rodon. I mean, there's only a couple of options that you could put out there, and like you said, nobody wants Hicks, and I don't want to use Cabrera because he's good everywhere. So I don't want him having a set position. So yes, a trade would probably have to do, and I mean, it's either going to be Brian Reynolds from Pittsburgh or one of the 2 outfielders from the D-backs. That's who I keep hearing. Those 3 names.
We mentioned
so
to go too.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is we have to make moves anyway because our roster's already got 40 people on it. So something needs to happen.
You're correct.
So Jonathan brought something up interesting. I would package Torres and Dominguez for a pitcher.
Absolutely. because you're trading from position of strength that we were talking about. We told you those outfields are set. Also, second base, you have position of strength. DJ LeMahieu is your second baseman. You have Cabrera, who could play jack of all trades there, and you got Oswaldo and you got Peraza and Velope. Either or could play those positions. Those are strength. You have a lot of middle. You have a lot of infielders. Torres is the most ready, MLB ready, former All Star. We mentioned former All Star level, who could be a cornerstone going forward. He has a lot of value. He's ready to go. Steam control, along with Dominguez, that could get you a number one type starter if he's available by a team that doesn't want to pay a starter. That's the type of package that you could really get something back if and then if you want, instead of if it's a pitcher who, let's say, I'm just gonna throw a name out there. Just bear with me. Let's say Clayton Kershaw. He's in the middle. He just signed for $20 million. Let's say he's back in his young prime and he's making $35 million, and the Dodgers want to shed salary. He's a qualified number one starter, but they want to shed salary. That's the type of package that will bring him. And you could throw in a Hicks or a Donaldson. If you I'll take this bad contract off for you for the next 5 years, but you take this one for the next 1 year, and I'm gonna give you Donaldson. Get him off. We'll pay 75 cents to the dollar. You could pay 20, and just get him off our roster. Like you said, Chris, the 40 man, and just bring me some young talent back. And that's the type of moves that, believe it or not, as much as we knock Cashman, those are the type of specialty Cashman knows how to do and work around and get guys off the team, that we don't want, who's an albatross, and bring in some young talent or the no names that we don't know.
So I'm just going to pull something up that Deed's channel just posted or wrote. They are in on Rodon. We all knew that. That's their number one trade, our free agent target right now since Aaron Judge has signed. We all know that. That's a guarantee. But then I heard there's something even bigger that they are working on. This is coming from the real Michael K.
I wanted to bring that up because somebody brought this trade up. How would y'all feel, this big move that everybody keep thinking Cashman's going to do? How would y'all feel if they called the White Sox and said, what y'all want for Luis Roberts and Giolito?
That's interesting. That's interesting, actually. And you know why that's it? And I'll tell you why that's interesting. Because now you get your outfielder and you get your starter at the same time. And they're still going to be in on Rodon because they liked Rodon last year. They were trying to trade for him last year. Now you get Giolito and Robert, and then you go out and sign Rodon. Now your rotation is Cole, Rodon, Giolito, Sevy, and then you've got Herman.
I don't think that's
or whoever
Weapon of Montas. I don't think they'll get both. If you go the White Sox route, you don't get Rodon. I think they'll go that way.
Yeah. What's good about that too is they can take contracts like Gleyber because they need a second baseman.
Correct.
Yep.
So that actually would be a perfect trade partner.
I didn't think about that one. That's a good one. Good job on that one. That's a good one. Very good one.
That's
very
good
proposal.
That's really good.
Actually, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't see. I don't see.
The other one that I could see is if they call it Milwaukee. Yeah. And now I know Milwaukee said they're going to hold on to their pitchers. We all know that's blowing a smoke screen in front of everyone's eyes. We know that. I could see them calling up Milwaukee and being like, hey, what is it going to take for us to get either Woodruff or a Corbin Burns to New York? We can package a guy like Gleyber because you just lost your second baseman in a trade to Seattle, so you need a second baseman. We'll give you, we'll have a package centered around Gleyber and see what else we can package to get you what you need, and you get us what we need.
Well,
so I can see that.
If we do that, Mike, most likely they're gonna probably add in Yelich. So if they add in Yelich, we're gonna have to add in somebody for us. I mean, that's only fair.
Big Hicks or Donaldson. How about that?
Yeah.
Now let me throw this out there. Yelich, let's find out what he makes a year.
Yelich has got $157 million, I think, left on his deal. I'll look that up for you.
Because now do you want to see Yelich play left field though? Yankee Stadium.
Is he a lefty? If he's a lefty, yeah. If he's not a
He is a
lefty,
lefty.
no.
He's a
He is a
left-hander.
lefty.
Then yeah, I would do it just because he's a former MVP too. And be honest with you, we actually want to Yelich before Stanton, but Stanton was just
Correct.
too easy to get.
Correct.
So here's the other thing about Yelich. He's 31.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Judge is 31, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
So 26.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Hold on.
That's what he's. Hold on.
No, I'm telling you what he's got left on his deal. If you give me a second, he's got 26.
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 156 million. So he has 176 million left on his deal from that 7-year, 190 million that he's signed with when he went to Milwaukee.
But what is his AVA? What is it?
His average annual value is 26 per year.
Okay,
Oh, no, that's not bad.
We bought a Josh Donaldson in here. 25 million. Let me ask you this: what is it going to? Forget about Christian Yelich right now. Let's put him in the back for a minute. What is it going to cost to get Benintendi here yearly? What do you think he's going to sign for?
He'll probably sign for 6 for 120. I think
around 25 million. 24
20 to 25 million a year. I think he'll sign for, and I think it'll be either Seattle or Houston who gets him, because Seattle has made it known that they're looking for another outfielder themselves.
Right, but my point is, do you want to spend the money on and not lose picks on a Benintendi? Do you want to bring in would have, could have, should have a former MVP in another former MVP like we did with Donaldson with Yelich? That's the question. That's the because you could, but it all depends on what this is. See, this is another example of what this is the type of moves Cashman make. I'm gonna bring that point because last year he did it with Sanchez, and Urshela to bring in what we got from Donaldson and IKF and Ben Rondeck. Those are the type, and that's probably that's the poly move he's gonna do there. Something like that in those parameters. A bad. He wanted IKF to play shortstop, and he wanted Rondeck for their backup catcher, but he had to take that terrible contract in Donaldson in return. Maybe he could do that this time around, send that bad contract elsewhere, but maybe we might take a chance to get another bad contract, hoping that Christian Yelich just balls out for one, and
Now, Kev, you brought up
No. I was about to say, like, the only difference is we're gonna get a pitcher too. So it's not like how last year with the Sanchez. Because I'm sorry, Corbin Burns or Woodruff is way better than IKF. Yeah, like in position wise, I'm talking about like Corbin Burns and them was probably like the 5th, 6th best pitcher in the league. IKF is what in his position rank? What is he, like 30, 40 best shortstop?
The point is, they were looking for a shortstop and they were looking for a catcher, backup catcher. And in order for him to get what Cashman wanted and get rid of Sanchez, he had to take a bad contract. I know. Corbin Burns is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the thing is, he had in order to get two things he wanted, he had to take back something he didn't want. That's my point. And I think that's what, like Mikey was saying, the Brewers are going to give us something that they don't want, which is Yelich's contract, in order because we'll give you this great pitcher, but you have to take this terrible contract back. And I don't know if I think Cashman, those are the type of moves Cashman does. He'll take a flyer, he'll talk to his analytics and say, you know what, shift is. Remember, I was mentioning earlier to Mikey, the shift is being abolished. Left-handed hitters are going to get a better, higher batting average. You bring players to your stadium. And I think Yelich might do good in Yankee Stadium, especially he got protection, sandwich in between with a Rizzo. You go lefty, righty, Rizzo, Stanton, Judge, LeMahieu. You get balance on that lineup.
That's the key name that you just brought up right there. And that's why I think Yelich would be good for this team. It's because he'll be teamed up with his partner again. And Stanton. Because, him and Stanton were cool.
Kev, you brought up something really interesting earlier, and I want to go back to that point when we were talking about the speculation on what something big could be in the works. And you said Sean Murphy of Oakland, which is interesting because I don't have Sean Murphy going to the Yankees. I originally had him going to the Cardinals before they signed Contreras. Or I had him going to Tampa Bay because that's a move Tampa Bay would make. I didn't have him coming over to the Yankees in a trade. So I just want to bring that point up because that's not something to sleep on because they could do that. That could be what they're working on. We don't know.
The Braves are the favorite right now, by the way. Just to give, but doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean
Nope.
nada. It could be, it could be that they're the first ones that made the phone call.
Yep.
That's all it can mean. That's all it can mean there. But I don't know. Sean Murphy, I kind of like it, even though he didn't have a strong year. But of course, who's protecting him in that lineup, in that Oakland Athletic lineup? But
He
like
has
you said, nobody.
after Matt Olson left, that was it. He
That
was the
was it.
protection.
Yes, he
Give
was
me
a
1 second.
lifestyle.
I'll be right.
He was a Trojan along amongst the lifestyle pack.
Yeah. What
No
if
protection.
what if the big move was Tatis?
Man, we're playing that. We're playing MLB the show with him, man. Holy crap, man.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised
Man, I don't know.
because Cashman like taking injury prone players.
Yeah, but man, here's the thing, Chris. With how now signing Judge to win, to I mean, for that contract, it's telling me that they want to win already.
Oh yeah, I already know
They
that.
want to win
Yeah,
already, and they're gonna now get proven players. We got to win. We're gonna invest this money on this kid. We got to win a World Series already. Enough, 13 years. I think Hal's starting to feel. I don't. Listen, one thing I think Hal did not like getting booed on Yankee Stadium on Jerry Dieter Day. I think
No.
it resonated and it hurts him. It bothered him, and I think that's why he did these. He's doing these moves. He's become, and I think like you said, that's why Rodon to the Yankees looks like a good. It looks like it's going to happen, but not at 200, not over 180. Not after if they go over what DeGrom wants. I don't see the Yankees in on it.
Yeah.
That, but they want to win. They want to win.
So I think that when he got booed on Paul O'Neill Day and Derek Jeter Day, that was like, wait a minute. I'm being too stingy. I'm not caring enough about the team. This is my wake up call, or else the barbarians are going to be at the gate calling for my head if I don't do something. And that's why I think they're spending more than they have in the last 4 or 5 off seasons because they realize that Judge was a free agent, and if he walks, everyone's going to be like, "What? Why'd you let him walk?" So he goes out, sealed the deal with Judge. Now he's pushing hard to get Rodon, which is what he hasn't done lately because he doesn't like to. He didn't want to push and spend that money. And he's also trying to get a guy like a Brian Reynolds. There's something that clicked with him when he got booed that said, I have to wake up. We have to get this rolling. We have to win now. And I don't know if you heard Stephen A. Smith's comments, but he blasted the Yankees on, I think it was First Take. He had blasted the Yankees. He's like, great, you signed Judge. Now what are you going to do? Now you need to do something else. So maybe
I
he's
think
listening.
when he got booed, I think he said, if I don't do something, this stadium is going to be empty. You know what? They're going to boo. They're going to scream nobody to boo me if I don't do what I got to do, especially with a Judge walk. And I don't think that's good for business. Remember these, and I mentioned, and I said it over and over. These billionaires are not billionaires for being stupid. they got a little bit of a brain, regardless of the fact that we agree or disagree with them. They know how to make money multiply. And when he heard those boos there, he didn't see. He didn't. It wasn't a personal attack. It was an attack at his wallet. Because if Judge wouldn't went, that stadium, I'm guaranteed the litany of
That
people, they
stadium would have
probably
been empty.
would have been empty or cancellation of their season tickets. And that's how you get a billionaire to react in their pockets. Is their pockets. You want them to react? You want them to react? Hit them in their pockets.
So I'm going to ask you, Chris, what do you think the next moves are that the Yankees make?
I mean, it seemed like Rodon is headed to us, but it just I think they trying to talk about the years and everything. That's why it's taking so long. But if you got to give him the 7 year, I'm sorry, give him that 7 year. If that's what's gonna push the needle for him to come to us, then you got to give it to him because the way I look at it, as long as it don't go past Cole's contract, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't. So I would hope if you really want to win, and you already promised Judge said if I'm gonna sign here, you got to make this team better. Yep. So you gotta push for Rodon, and you gotta trade for a left fielder, regardless if it's Brian Reynolds or somebody from the D-backs or a move that we didn't even think about. Because if you want to save money, I'm about to say if you want to save money, that probably would be your best bet. Trade for a left fielder that's cheap.
So I just saw this.
Oh man.
On 90, this is via 95.7 The Game. It's a radio station, but I just want to put this up on the screen so you can see it. So this is what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
So
where they out of? Where is the game out of?
I'll check for you right now.
Because if it's not from New York, if it's not FAN or I'm not going to put too much stock.
93.7. It's out of the Bay Area.
That kind of makes sense because they were talking about trying to get Carlos themselves. So if they hear rumors that New York is trying to get him too, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Unless that's the fan base or the pushing San Francisco to sign Correa, because here we go. Here comes the Yankees again, trying to beat us, taking Judge. Now it puts emergency on the San Francisco Giants to up their offer. It could be a strategy game. That's why I asked if it was not from FAN New York or if it's not from New York. I have a hard time kind of thinking it's pro New York.
I can understand the speculation, and I can understand why you've got that speculation. But if it's a radio station outside of New York, even them saying it, to me that says that there might be some credibility to this. Again, it's all speculation, so we don't know. We have no way to verify that information is actually good or not.
Correct.
So I can understand that. And here's just a little interesting tidbit. Before Wilson Contreras signed with the Cardinals, the Angels actually were in pursuit of him, of his services. So that's just something to keep in mind. So the Angels are looking at this.
I was about to say, Mike, I'll say this. If we somehow spend money to get Carlos Correa and Carlos Rodon, not only is Gleyber getting traded, but Peraza is probably getting traded too.
I can see that. I can see that.
Because we don't need Peraza. If we got Volpe coming up, what's the point if we're going to sign Correa? Because what I think is going to happen, they're going to put IKF at third. They're going to put Correa at short.
Yep.
And then they're going to put Volpe at second when he's ready.
Yep.
So I don't know. That'd be crazy.
I said earlier.
Yeah.
If that is indeed what they're doing and they are trying to get Correa, just all intensive purposes, then I could see them making a move for Reynolds, even harder than what I think now. And Glaber, Peraza, and Dominguez will probably be in a package for that. Or just Peraza, Glaber, and Herman in a package. And then you could try to trade Peraza in another package to get another pitcher. That's just me though. What do you guys think?
It's just I don't see the Yankees going in that 60
In
that
that
third
direction.
luxury tax. I know Steve Cohen did. And he's going to pay $60 million in that third luxury tax, close to. Or he says he's going to go up to $100 million. So right now, that $60 million that the Mets are being penalized, I know this is the Yankee. That's more than what the Tampa Bay's, Oakland Athletics, and I believe another team total salary for the year is. So he's paying salary for one major league team. I don't know. That's what Steinbrenner did not want to do, George. And I don't know. That's what Hal doesn't want to do neither. So I don't know. That's why trust me, guys. I want to wave the pom poms and say bring these guys. But I don't know if the Yankees are willing to do. I want them to, but I'm right now on the fence. I don't know if they're willing. I'll be surprised. I'll be the first one to say I was totally wrong. I'm gonna sit here with one of my sodas, like Chris knows that I like to open up and drink it with the crow that I'm gonna eat. I'll eat the crow. I'll sit there with a spoon of crow and I'll do a whole video doing it. But honestly, I don't know if they could do that. Let me ask you this: if we could sign a left fielder who bats left-handed, who's 29 years old, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna give you the name, and you could pay him $15 million for 1 year and an option for 2, would you do it?
This isn't a signing or a trade. I just looked up
Oh,
that Jonathan just put up. Buster Only said that the Yankees are in on Carlos Correa.
Wow.
I just looked it up, and Justin Verlander's brother Ben Verlander.
Oh,
here we go.
I have a sneaky feeling Yankees are working on Carlos Correa.
Okay. I mean, hey, I'll be
and
shocked.
that was 26
minutes
ago.
I'll be shocked.
That's
I'll be shocked.
26 minutes ago.
I guarantee you this: if they get Carlos Rodon and Carlos Correa, Twitter's gonna go crazy.
They're gonna go nuts, and we're gonna be like, "Whoa!" And we do need more lefties in the lineup. But back to the original question there. Would you be interested on that? If I tell you, listen, I got a left-handed hitter who's 29 years old, who could play the outfield, left field, right field, play center as well. Fits your Yankee Stadium. He's 29 years old. He's lefty. He needs a contract. He's willing to take a prove-it deal for 1 year. Now, if you want to give him an option for 2, player's option, he's there. What you think? Interested? Not interested? If you're the Yankee brass, you couldn't make any trade. You don't want to save you don't want to spend no more money. You're just gonna add $15 million to the payroll. Let me
play devil's advocate here, though, and I think that's a good thought too, Kev. Let me play devil's advocate. Let's say we do sign Correa. Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, we get Correa and Rodon. Does that now make us more competitive with Houston?
Hell yeah!
Of course. No Verlander.
So now it makes us more competitive with Houston. Okay.
Of course.
So then, is that money worth it? Because that's what we're also got to think about. Because yes, we're spending money that's putting us maybe second tier luxury tax, something like that. If we get both of them, third tier. So is it worth that $60 million that we're going to be paying?
Unless they can get rid of those contracts, then we'll be probably second tier.
Back in the 2.
But I think
Hal's okay with that.
Yeah, second tier is fine. He doesn't care about the second tier.
So that's where I'm getting at is, even if yes, we have to pay in the second or third tier, it would be worth it because now we just said to Houston, we're back. This is the team that we're now more competitive. If that makes.
but we can't think of it that way. The reason why is because we're not it's not a guarantee that we're going to see the Astros in the postseason.
Yeah.
We might get knocked off by the Guardians, and they're lower payroll. We almost got so we don't. That's a two-part question, Mikey. They have to make the World Series and win the World Series in order for that to pan off.
Yeah.
So but back to they will be better. Of course, they'll be much better. They'll much more. They'll be balanced. They'll be much more better. Barring injuries, they'll be way better. Let me ask you this: that player that I was mentioning, his name is Michael Conforto.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back, guys.
I know he was injured. I know he didn't play. He knows how to play in New York. He's lukewarm. Again, no shift next year. But you throw the number down, 15, 17 million. You're not going to have them dictate 25 to 30 million for that. Hell no, you could keep walking. Give me Benintendi. But if you could get him on the cheap like that, a prove-it deal, like Wade Correa did with Minnesota, I'm interested. Personally, I'm interested. That's if Benintendi doesn't sign elsewhere. Personally, I want Benintendi back in left field. That's just me. I want to see the full potential.
I'll say this, Kev. Like, I don't have a problem with Benintendi. Like, I would love for Benintendi to come back. But if there's a guarantee that we could trade for Reynolds or somebody, and it's like a real shot, like it ain't no fluke, I'd rather him.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee. The difference between Reynolds and Benintendi, Reynolds, if Pittsburgh willing to take the offer that you give the players that you want, with Benintendi, here's the money you sign, boom, we'll move on to the next player. That's if Pittsburgh wants to dance with you. If Pittsburgh doesn't want to dance with you, you're screwed. You got to go get Benintendi. But I know what you mean with your priority. If Pittsburgh is willing to play and dance with us, yeah, why not? He's a switch hitter. Switch hitter with speed. You want to switch hitter because now when you have a tough righty, you don't have to. Brian Reynolds could just come from the left side and he. Yeah, you're right. That makes sense. We haven't remember when we won World Series, we had switch hitters in Posada and Bernie. We need switch hitters on the team.
The other thing is, yes, we need switch hitters, but we also need pitching because we don't have enough of it. Look at Tampa Bay.
No.
Look at Tampa. They're a pitching factory. That team produces pitchers like it's nothing. Look at Shane McClanahan down in Tampa Bay. That's going to be that team's new ace if they trade Glasnow, which I heard that they were trying to do, and the Mets were in on that. But anyways, a left fielder we need. We definitely need to fill that hole. But we also have a hole in the rotation because we lost Tyone to the Cubs. So that's something to think about as well.
Well, I know Kev was talking about this name last year, but it ain't gonna happen because they made it to the playoffs. But if Cleveland was like trash, I think they would have traded Beaver. But because they made it to the playoffs, that's not gonna happen.
No, but that would have been a nice pickup, though.
Yeah, because I know Kevin really likes Beaver.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Beaver too.
I like the Beaver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bieber is definitely would have definitely been someone I would have looked at, but because Cleveland made the postseason, they're probably not going to deal him.
No,
and that division is weak. That division, believe it or not, that division is weak. They could think they could repeat. Bringing in what they brought in, and second year with Steve Kwan and company, I think they're stacked. They think they could win just that division, get in, and anything could happen. Yeah, we do need another starter because, personally, they have starters that they could fill in like a Domingo Herman, Clark Schmidt. They have guys, but like I said, we do want a number. We need we lost Jamison Tyone. We need someone to fit that bit there. Do we trust Severino? With arm issues, injuries. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And we know that two of the five starters are going to be shut down for an extended time with the Yankees.
I trust him to a certain extent. If I think you gave him the spot starters role, or even made him a number 4, then you're taking that pressure off of him to have to be that number 1 or number 2. You know what I'm saying? Now you're giving him that chance to kind of re-find himself.
Okay. I'm gonna piggyback. I'm gonna ask you a question about like reinventing himself and finding himself.
Okay.
And it's gonna go back to a name that I mentioned earlier. Frankie Montas. I'm gonna go with Frankie Montas. Do you think the
Okay.
Yankees see a future with Frankie Montas? What they traded from last year, do they think they see a future beyond this year, next year, and maybe going forward? Do you think so? Before not seeing what we saw last season, that he would, you could say he was a little injured. When they made that trade, was it reactionary or they thought they have some kind of future with Frankie Montas?
I think they felt like they might have had some kind of future with him.
Okay.
And I'm playing the devil's advocate on this because I think Montas, once he gets past that injury that he had and he gets past all the family issues and gets his head back on straight and he's rested up, he'll be better.
All right. So doesn't Sean Murphy make sense? His personal catcher who knows how to catch him, knows how to get the best out of him, makes sense for the Yankees?
Yes, but if they can't get him, then I think Trevino will be a good.
Trevino's still going. He's not going anywhere. He's the backup catcher. Trevino is.
No. But I'm saying if they don't get Sean Murphy, right, then you could have Trevino catch Montas. Because think about it. Look what Trevino did with Cole towards the end of the season.
Absolutely. I think that's why I think they believe in. I think they believe in Montas. I think they do believe in Montas. Yeah. I wasn't impressed by him. Chris knows with the watch along. I call him Michael Pineda. Not impressed for him, but I'm willing to give him that clean slate, that fresh piece of paper. He's going to be in camp with the Yankees. He's going to be, all the expectation, or the Yankee fandom, all that good stuff. I think and then plus, Chris knows. I always say it. Nothing motivates a player when they're about to get that bag. Look at Judge. He banked on himself 62 home runs. Look, not all the time, but 70 to 80% of the time, when a player wants to get that generational change in money, they go above and beyond their expectation and they pitch or they hit or they play above their baseball cards. So I think Frankie Montas next year could be a number 2 starter easily for the Yankees. What Nestor Cortez gave us, it wouldn't surprise me that Frankie Montas does that. And I'm not a fan of Montas. Chris could tell you.
Yep. Well, I wanted to say this too, because I don't see anybody bringing him up, and I don't think he's signed yet, and he's cheap too. If we need another backup catcher, and I'm sorry, I don't trust Ben Rovet to stay healthy neither. Why not go take somebody from Houston? And he used to play for Boston too.
Yeah,
Christian Vasquez.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, one of your chat members mentioned it, Mikey.
And I didn't even look at the chat. I just thought about it.
So, here's the thing, though. I can't trust Rutherford either yet. I have to see what he has to do. I haven't seen him play, so I can't make that judgment call if he's going to be good or bad. So I'm not going to do that, because I believe that you got to give a guy a chance to see, what he can do. But I might get flack for this, and I'm okay with that. But Kyle Higashioka was a flash in the pan, a one hit wonder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're no one's gonna get, well, at least with me, I'm not gonna give you pushback. No. I thought he stink. I mentioned it from the very beginning. I thought he stunk. I thought he sucked. I'm gonna be honest, from opening day. You put him again, guys. You can watch my watch alongs. We did opening day, and I said it from the very beginning. He sucks. I mentioned it. I don't. It was fool's gold. The home run stroke in spring training. I told you that from game 1, and it's there. Yep. I can't. My videos cannot be. I don't erase my videos, so it's there. I'm with the receipts. So I didn't like Higashioka.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Catcher wise, they might just be sticking with Higgy and Rover. I don't know yet.
No, Trevino and Rover.
Yeah, Trevino and Rover. But that's just one thing wanted to put out there. I don't trust Higashioka behind the plate. I don't think he manages a pitching staff very well. I just think Trevino, being with Texas and Houston and whoever else, right? Has that experience, has worked with experienced pitching staffs, and is able to command a game. And that's what you need out of a catcher. You need to command a game. And this goes back to the whole offseason recap so far that they've had, is getting guys that have the experience. Yes, it's going to cost you a bit, but that's what you need. You need that experience so the experienced guys can train their replacements from when they're gone.
Right. Well said. Well said there. Well said there with that. I don't think like Higgy doesn't return. If he does return, his backup. I think there'll be a backup catcher role will be available with Rovek. If they don't bring in another one, if Murphy don't bring in, if they don't bring in Christian Vasquez, I know one of the chat members. I want to see if I give him his proper credit on there. Who had it on your chat? He mentioned it earlier, and Sununu. Mike Sununu, those are available names out there. So yeah, Aiden Davila mentioned that. But be honest with you, is that position where they really need to address greatly? Not really. It's for the Yankees. No. So that's not priority. I think they could always bring someone in a little late.
I just want to put something.
And that's why I mentioned
the Texas Buckeyes said, Texas. What is up, brother? Salute, salute, salute. We need an in-your-face catcher who will run a game from the dish. And he is 100% right. We need that catcher. And we haven't had a catcher like that since we had, Joe Girardi, Jorge Posada, Jimmy Lawrence. Those guys were in your face, just waiting to get in your face. Those were the kinds of catchers that we used to have. And we haven't had one like that. And once we got Trevino, he became that guy. He became that leader behind the dish. And that's what we need.
We had a guy like that we traded. I'm not saying he was going to be the starter, but it was the kid that went to Pittsburgh, the Spaniard. What was his name? Yeah, he was not going to. He wasn't supposed to be a number one starter either. But
I know who you're talking.
Cervelli.
Yeah, Cervelli.
Yes. Francisco
Cervelli. They moved him out because Sanchez. They baby Sanchez. I know we're moving away. Thank you, Jonathan Cervelli. And they baby Sanchez. That was the clash because when you had Tony Pena along with Joe Girardi, like the in-your-face type of catcher. They wanted Gary Sanchez to be that type of catcher. In your face, control the game, and Sanchez is not that makeup is not that his type. That actually cost Girardi his job. I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to say it. That's the reason why Girardi is no longer the manager of the Yankees. It was that clash with Sanchez. Sanchez didn't want to be, pushed hard or rolled in your face type of mentality. And that didn't help. And he went crying to the front office and they need a collaborator. That's where we bought Boonen, who's going to coddle and be the Mickey Callaway, to love the players. We're going to hug the players. We're going to love them. We're going to talk. We're going to collaborate. We're going to have therapy session before the game. And like you said, we need that tough in your face catcher. And Trevino brings that. And we saw the difference. The Yankees, they were number one in pitching last year for at least the first half of the season.
You got guys like Cole who were struggling. Trevino was like that with him, and he straightened up, and look how much better he pitched down the stretch, including in the postseason against Cleveland.
Cortez took his game to another level when
absolutely.
And they went away from and I know Chris. I know we mentioned it so many times. Pitchers were afraid of throwing the ball in the dirt. Last year, the year before. Last year, they were throwing the ball in the dirt because they had a catcher. They had catchers who could block it, who when man on first or second base, didn't have the stupid pass ball and set up guys in scoring position in Sanchez. That's a difference. Pitchers pitch their game better because they know they got someone who, if they do bounce
Reliable.
one, they have a reliable catcher behind the plate, and it showed in the performance on the pitching staff.
And I'll say this too, and trust me, I'm happy he's gone. I hope he don't never come back to the Yankees. But it hurt Chapman too. It really did.
It did. It screwed him
Like,
up.
yeah, it messed up his confidence, his psyche. He's not the same. He wasn't the same pitcher.
And that's the Sanchez effect.
Yeah.
That's what you call a dirty Sanchez effect.
Yep. So we're gonna do final thoughts here, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Kevin, I'm gonna throw this over to you, and then throw it over to Chris. What do you think we should expect out of the Yankees for the rest of the offseason? Do you think they do a sign and then a trade, or just a couple of signings and then call it a day, or what do you guys think?
Well, the first thing I would like the New York Yankees personally and the Yankee fan base to do, first of all, if you're not subscribed to the 4 Train Express, subscribe. First of all, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, get on board. Whenever that 4 Train Express comes on, you're here, tooting the horn, getting your subway Metro card, getting your ticket, and coming aboard the train. Plain and simple. That's the first and foremost. And then secondly, once you're there, you go to Chris the Flash channel, and you get on board there. And like a flash. Boom, you jump on the train to the Flash, like a quick flash, to the Jedi Sports Jedi Network. And before that, you go you get a cup of Yankee Morning Brew, you drink it, and then you're part of the New York Yankee podcast family. That's plain and simple.
And then you also take a trip on up to 161 River Ave, get yourself a little bit of 161 River Ave content, then you're all good.
And you're all good there with a little Seminetti sauce, and you're done. Perfect.
And guess what? We got 2 words for you.
Just subscribe. That's all we got to do. But the Yankees, I just want them to get strength in the position that they need and do some smart moves. Don't do anything stupid. Don't take bad contracts. Do some smart moves here. If you don't want to go over the luxury tax, there's moves that you can make smart. Be intelligent. Bring players that fit. Me personally, I'm a big advocate. Bring players that fit your stadium. Home field advantage, dominance, left-handed pitching, left-handed hitting, short porch, and speed. This team needs some speed. If you're gonna give me a left fielder with some speed, I'm okay with it too. It don't have to be we got the home run hitters already. We got the home run monsters. We got the monsters to hit the homers. We need now the worker bees. We need the table setters. There's nothing wrong with being a table setters when you're going to bring in some guys who's going to knock you in. That's my thoughts here for the remaining of the winter meetings and the off season.
Chris?
All right. It's simple things. How? We understand that you don't want to go over the 3rd luxury tax. We agree that is doing too much. You ain't got to be like Cohen and spend that much money. All we asking for is most people is Rodon and a left fielder. That's it. If anything else that you want to put on that, that's fine with us. We're not going to argue. And second thing, Cash, stop thinking you're the smartest person in the room. You got to humble yourself, bro. Like, I understand you think you making these deals and stuff. And don't get me wrong, some deals do pan out. And we do give you credit. But then you make stupid moves like you did last year with Donaldson and thought it was the next best thing. And it wasn't. So just like Kev said, don't take any more bad contracts. Just do the right moves, make sense to these moves, and I guarantee you, number 28 is going to be around the corner.
Agree. I couldn't agree more with both of you. Good points from both of you guys. So tomorrow, same time, I'm going to go live again. Kev, you're more than welcome to join. Chris, you're also more than welcome to join. I'll send you all both I think I sent you both the links. If not, I'll send you both the links. If Jason from 161 River Ave is available, I'm going to see if he can get on. I'm going to try to see if I can get Hector on. We'll do a little round table. But if not, it's just you guys again. I appreciate you guys for coming on. I appreciate everyone for coming out and tuning in today. I know it was kind of a short last-minute notice thing, but I appreciate everyone for coming out. Remember, follow these guys on Instagram, Twitter, and also subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon for both their channels, Chris the Flash For Krista Flash and BX Sports Jedi, Kev, Don of the Watch Along, I'm your boy, the 4 Train Express. I will see y'all tomorrow night. Have a good one, and thank you all again.